business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast. Over on the other screen over there, I have Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, and it is top 3 time. It's on top of me. If you've been here before, you know what we do. We pull a chip out. It's a random category. We have 30 seconds to come up with our top 3 or bottom 3 for that category. Peter, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to finish decorating this room. There's just decor everywhere.
All right. Tonight we have poker chip number 8. And it's amazing when the camera does the thing it's supposed to do. And number 8 is going to be, I actually have this up and everything today. It is a listener question. Listener question. J-Bo, your top 3 vacation planning mistakes. You got 30 seconds.
Thinking about taking a trip to Disneyland, Disney World, maybe a Disney cruise, or one of the other amazing Disney destinations? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse, and I'd love to work with you on your itinerary to the most magical places in the world.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel. All right, top 3 vacation planning mistakes. So we are combined, what would you say, 40-ish trips now?
I have no idea. I don't know if I want to count. Sounds like a bad idea.
All right, and we have made our fair share of mistakes. So Peter, why don't you start out with your number 3?
This could be higher, this could be lower. I'm gonna actually go with like a ridiculously specific thing.
Okay.
And then I'll see what you say, and then I'll maybe make my 2 and my 1 a little bit more broad. My number 3 vacation planning mistake is going to be our guest with really small children.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because, so here was the great thing about Be Our Guest up until COVID. Breakfast and lunch were quick service, and the meals, the menus were awesome, and it was great because you could kind of go in with kids and they would bring you the food, and so then the kids could see the West Wing and the ballroom and the library and kind of see it all and experience it all. And so little kids, right, quick meal. So when they start fussing, you could be like, sweet, we're done. Let's pack up. Let's get out of here. And it was awesome. Well, since COVID, since the reopening, Be Our Guest, lunch, the breakfast is gone. And lunch is now the same as dinner, which means you're going to pay over $60 per adult and over $40 per kid. And to be completely truthful, the kids menu is not all that kid friendly, and the adult menu is fine French cuisine.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I'm not necessarily looking for like escargot and and fillets at 1 p.m. And I'm also not looking to spend $40-something because people go there thinking, oh, it's Beast Castle. There's a character. You get to meet Beast in the parlor if you wait in line.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an Akershus. It's not a Cinderella's Royal Table. It's not a Crystal Palace. It's not Hollywood and Vine. Like, the list goes on and on. It's not Tusker House. It's not all of those things. It is a fine French restaurant that is not a character meet and greet. It's just a lot of things right now. And I have talked to several people, clients, just people that I meet that have said kind of the same idea. Like, Be Our Guest is just not, it's trying to be too many things.
Yes.
If you wanna sell the location, then make it a family friendly experience. If you want to sell fine French cuisine, then get your ass in Monsieur Paul and get out of Beast Castle.
Yeah, yeah.
The menu doesn't match the location, and the location doesn't match the menu. So people go there for the location, and then they get disappointed by the menu, and then you're left with this massive cost. Go to Cinderella's Royal Table. It costs almost the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think that, I mean, you can make that a larger one. Is just kind of understanding your menus and understanding your pricing and that kind of stuff before you go. That makes a big deal. That's one thing that, with our trip going out the land that we have coming up, that we went through all the restaurants and looked at what do they have, what's the pricing, what kid options do they have, are our kids going to eat there, that kind of stuff. We did not do Blue Bayou. We're doing Cafe Orleans though. So.
Oh, that's right. Where I was on the camera.
Yep. So.
My favorite restaurant, man.
I'm gonna get a Monte Cristo. Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep. That's the first night that we're there. We're at Cafe Orleans. So.
I did the same thing, man. My first day there, I was like, give me a lunch reservation at Cafe Orleans. So.
All right. So my number 3. I'll keep it relatively simple, and it's excessive park hopping. I feel like not enough people understand that, especially Walt Disney World is 43 acres or 43,000 acres. It's a large park. It's the size of San Francisco. And there's transportation between the parks, but it's not necessarily fast transportation. So if you have meals at Disney Springs and at different parks and that kind of stuff, you're going to spend most of your day on transportation and not enjoying the parks. So unless you're just going down there for the food and don't care about the rides, stay away from that that excessive park hopping. That is a good way to kill a vacation. So Peter, what is your number 2?
Yeah, that excessive park hopping is a very good point, because don't plan to start in Magic Kingdom if you have a 2 o'clock lunch in Epcot, but you plan to watch Fantasmic at night. That eats up your day real quick. Make a dinner reservation in Disney Springs to where you can stay in the park till 4 or 5 o'clock. Slowly, leisurely get over to Disney Springs for a 7 o'clock dinner for sure. But
exactly.
And don't set it up to where you have to park hop just for the sake of park hopping. I'm a big fan of, on the counter of Matt's, I'm a really big fan of kind of plan where you want to start your day and make yourself between noon and 2 o'clock reservation in that park. Sit down at that meal and discuss what do we want to do next.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am gonna go my number 2. This is mistakes, rookie mistakes, whatever. My number 2 is not planning for water. That's a bad planning. That's a rookie mistake.
Oh yeah.
If you do something, whether it's have a little thermos inside of your backpack, or have a couple of Dasani water bottles that you're just going to refill over and over again, or kind of have enough knowledge of the park to know where the quick service locations are. I think so. When the 4 of us were just down there a few months ago, we were sitting there one day and we didn't have, our water bottles were empty. We were sitting there super thirsty. I had to shove up the side of Friar's Nook to get us all a bit of water, because the lines were all long and we were super thirsty, and we just hadn't watched our water consumption very well. It has nothing to do with drinking because we're at Magic Kingdom. But a lot of rookie people, and even on the cooler days, you still have to watch your water consumption and make sure you're taking in lots of water. Because even on a cooler day where you don't feel yourself sweating, you're still walking 15,000 steps or more. Your body is still expending the water that is inside. And on those super hot days, you got to be making sure that you are just drinking water galore. And if you don't plan accordingly, you're going to find yourself buying $4 Dasanis over and over again and really eating into your budget for experiences and treats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the truth is there's free water all around the park. You just have to know how to get it and what to look for, and always bring a thermos with you. Grab 3 cups of water from it, fill it all up, drink it over the course of the next hour. Right?
Yep.
Fill, drink, repeat.
that is very true. That is very true.
Yeah, I don't think people plan for that very much, especially rookies.
Yeah, they don't. And until you experience it, until you make the mistake, you really don't know unless somebody tells you, hey, make sure that you've got a Contigo or a Stanley or something with you, and keep filling that bad boy up. And again, like you said, it's free at the quick service restaurants. Most of them will have them just sitting on the counter waiting for people to grab them because they know they're going to grab them relatively fast. So, no, that is a good one. So my number 2 is eating at traditional times. So, I am a big fan of kind of really planning my meals around what we're doing at the parks. And that means eating breakfast before we get to the park. So grabbing either breakfast outside of a park or at one of those restaurants inside the park that opens before park open. And then we try and do later lunches and earlier dinners. So, we may do just 2 meals a day and do like a snack in between, or do a later lunch and do a dessert, something like a dessert, go get Mickey bars or go get the waffle or whatever somewhere. And that's really, you want to get away from that eating at like 9 o'clock right at park open, because that is one of the best times to go in and get stuff done at the parks. You have your high crowds, but they're going to certain rides, and you can really knock out some of those second tier rides right off the bat and get a lot done at the beginning of the Meg. Should have just put, if you let us stop and get a snack. There's no stopping. This train just keeps going. But yeah, so eating that breakfast early, getting lunch at a non-traditional time. A lot of people are going to eat lunch in that 11 to 1 period. Gives you a chance to get some rides done in that period, and then maybe get a 1 or a 2 o'clock reservation and miss some of those crowds again. Same thing with dinner. Stay away from that like 4 to 6:30 time frame. One of our favorite hacks is eating at restaurants that are in view of fireworks. So, eating at Tep and Edo and then walking out a half hour before the fireworks start at Epcot, or, eating the last reservation at Cinderella's Royal Table, and you're actually in the lower level when the fireworks go off at Magic Kingdom. So knowing where you are and when the fireworks go off, you can really plan your meals really well and get some cool experiences out of them as well. So my number 2, kind of plan your meals at non-traditional times to beat some of the crowds. So, all right.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I really like, I mentioned it already in this episode, I'm a really big fan of like 2 o'clock lunch.
Yeah.
Because I can wake up, I can grab some quick service from my resort, maybe grab some snacks along the way between the 11 and noon hour, and then eat a nice big full meal, and then I just need another like quick service around 6, and I've got myself fed for the day.
And I think a lot of people sleep, especially on like your value resorts. They sleep on that breakfast there. Mm-hmm. I mean, we could eat those breakfast bagel sandwiches every morning.
When I stay at Riviera, at least one morning, I walk to Caribbean to get the breakfast bagel sandwiches because Riviera doesn't have that.
Yeah, all those ritzy people over at Riviera.
Yeah, I will. I will literally, if I wake up and it's clear my family is still like super asleep, I'll just leisurely walk over to Caribbean Beach, grab breakfast bagel sandwiches and maybe some waffle platters and whatever, walk it back, and then I'm a huge fan of those breakfast bagel sandwiches because they also come with tots and
yeah, so you don't have to order extra tots.
Tots in a bagel sandwich. Yeah, don't order extra time.
All right, Peter. Before you get to your number one, where can people find you?
Over on Facebook, as I said earlier, in the news and notes show that's tied to this episode. I would love to talk to you about April. But I'll settle for like October at this point, because I don't have a lot to do. I'm waiting for some people to get some tax returns, and just remember, only $200 down books you your reservation. And gets the process started. So a lot of people think like you got to have these big exorbitant amounts of money. Nope, you got to have $200 and plans to receive or save the exorbitant amounts of money by the time you go. So yeah, I'd love to talk to you. You know, there's a lot of different ways to go with my number one, but I think my number one mistake, and this is what I try to avoid when I plan with my guests that I help, is make sure that your hotel matches your use. Right? Like, that is huge, because so many people are like, well, I'm going down there, I have to stay at Polynesian. Well, I'm going down there, I have to stay at Contemporary. Well, I'm going down there, I have to...
Why?
Listen, well, it depends, right? Like, if I'm going for a week and I'm going to the parks 4 days, do I want a Polynesian or a Contemporary or a Wilderness Lodge? Yes, absolutely. But if I'm going for 4 nights and 5 park days, I guarantee you Caribbean Beach or Pop Century will look no different to you than Polynesian, whatever, other than the moment you arrive and the moment you leave every day. Because, like, one of my very first questions I ask my clients is, so let's talk about the resort. Are you looking for a place to lay your head, or are you looking for a place to vacation? Okay, you're looking for a place to lay your head. Now, in my mind, I have already said, okay, so let's see if they want a slightly nicer recreation area, in which case I'm aiming for Caribbean or a Port Orleans, or if they just don't even think they're really going to have time to hit the pool much, in which case I'm aiming for like a Pop, type of a conversation, because too many people go down there, spend $600 a night for your hotel, and then over a 4-night stay go to the pool twice. So you didn't take advantage of the bars, you didn't take advantage of the nightlife, you didn't take advantage of the extra family-friendly programming throughout the day in terms of movies, s'mores, tie-dye, arts and crafts, trivia at the pool, blah, 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 blah. Like, why did you pay for that?
Yeah.
All it was. It's not a status thing. It's just a waste of your money. You could have used that extra. You could have stayed at Caribbean Beach for $300 a night and done a dessert party and a private tour and done just all out. You could have done lightsabers and droids.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy a resort unless you know you're going to use that resort for what that resort is for.
Exactly. No, that's a great one. And before I get to our number one, if you do have a better vacation planning mistake than us, put it in the chat or put it down in the comments below. If you're listening to us over on Spotify, definitely answer that question that is in the Spotify the Spotify app about what is your worst vacation planning mistake. My number one, and I could have gone a lot of ways with this one as well. And I've got a bonus one. You probably have a bonus one as well. But I'm going to go with know your park hours. There is nothing worse than being in Magic Kingdom on a party night and not knowing it's a party night. When they start rounding you up between 4 and 7 o'clock and saying, you don't got a bracelet, you need to get out. That is a really, really bad feeling. So definitely, especially, Halloween season and basically from August through January 1st, if you don't know if it's a party night, make sure you check. Because If you don't have that ticket for the party, you are getting kicked out of there at 7 o'clock. So no fireworks for you, no refunds. You kind of screwed yourself. So definitely want to know those park hours. And then if they ever go back to the early morning magic that's park specific, right now it's kind of every park. But if they ever go back to that, know which parks have that, because one of our tips is getting away from those. You know, not necessarily... Yeah, don't go to that park because everybody else says, oh, I get an extra hour here. And we say, oh, you guys are going to the wrong park. So yeah, so if that ever comes back, just know your hours. Get on the website. You know, I've been checking and looking at, hey, what are the hours? When are the fireworks? When are the parades? That kind of stuff. It's best for planning your vacation. This is something that you got to put a little effort into. Put a little effort into it. It'll go a long way at Disney. Call Peter. Stuff's down here. So, all right.
Yeah, and that's part of getting somebody involved that has, especially if you haven't done it very much, and you're relatively new to the process. It's very daunting. So, get somebody who is going to help you with those tips. As I said, I became a travel agent because I was walking through at the time the Fast Pass line, and somebody said, how do you get over to that line? And my thought was, how do you spend as much money as you did and not know the answer to that question? that was fundamental. That was rudimentary. Like the fast passes and booking fast passes, and you know, and the same thing goes for, you know, kind of on that bonus topic with the hotels. Matt kind of mentioned this earlier in my Be Our Guest. Like, know that you have to book your reservations, like for dining. There are so many people that are like, oh, I'm so upset I didn't get into blank and blank and blank and blank. I'm like, listen, when a client calls me and they go, hey, we're going for 4 days, we really want to go to Space 220. I'm like, your vacation's not long enough.
And your camera battery isn't long enough.
I don't understand how it's plugged in. Isn't it? I'm confused. My microphone's working. They're plugged into the same thing. Hold on.
Hold please while Peter figures out his camera. While he's doing that, if you have any questions, down at the bottom right now, our website, patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. You can put in the information for your vacation, and one of us will contact you and kind of get the ball rolling. Peter is back, and we are...
It's unplugged. I figured it out. I'm like, wait a minute. Something is off over there. I better go look into this. Yeah, it just blows me away, though, is the bottom line. I mean, it's crazy. People are like, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like,
you didn't try.
Set yourself up for success. You set yourself up for failure.
Exactly. Well, like I said, another good top 3. Thank you guys all for watching. If you do have a better top 3 for us, or if you have another idea, put it in the comments. Go over to the website, let us know, and you guys can have a good week. Hey, thanks for checking us out today. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help out the channel. Also, if you're looking for some more Disney content, check this out. I think you're going to like it.